quick introduction about myself. I am the math expert. So I was previously a school teacher for a good 15 years, and I was formerly teaching the gifted program for math. And I was teaching at a couple of schools. Kuchuan was one of them, and then followed by Rosyth and Raffles Girls Primary. Okay, so I spent about 11 years in the GEP program. That's when I specialized in the subject and marked math for 11 years. So the first 4 years were actually like I was a science marker because I was in the science department back at Kuchuan. And I was very privileged to set PSLE questions with SEAB before, and I really enjoy what I'm doing. I have 3 kids myself, and youngest, like what most of you are going through together. We have a Xiaolong, and I have a Xiaolong at home. So does Teacher Joe. So yeah, we know what it's like, what's the pressure is like, and yeah, we're gonna put in a lot more effort in this, especially this year, the journey together with all of you. Okay, yes, I am a dragon parent. Come, let's 加油 together. Come, let's go, and let's have Teacher Lin introduce herself.
So hi everyone, I'm Teacher Lin. I specialize in teaching primary math at BlueTree. Just to share, my teaching belief is that all children have their unique path of growth. Everybody goes through a different path, right? And I aim to help them to see their learning potential. So this also comes, this belief also stems from this quote that I got from Dr. Bernstein that says that intelligence is not a static structure, but it's open and dynamic and can continue to develop throughout life. Yeah, so I see that children can continue to keep growing, and that we as teachers are kind of the mediators to really help them see their potential. Yeah, so this is me with some of the students in my classes.
Yes, thank you very much. Thank you very much. I really believe in this helping them achieve their potential. Really, some parents say that we only want to teach the good kids. Not true. If you believe in what we do, okay, that we have a very good curriculum that we help the kids. We are very, very confident to help your child reach his potential, help your child improve, which means that it could be an AL5. We are very confident we can help the kid climb up to an AL4, then an AL3. We have to set realistic, targets, and how long is the journey you have with us? If you only give us 2 months to work with your kids, then it's quite hard from AL3 jump up to AL1, you see. But if you give us 1.5 years to work together with your child, yeah, we're very confident to help your kid reach his potential. Okay?
Okay, can we move on? So we have, okay.
Okay, so this is the solve technique we use at our to teach the children how to solve questions. Okay, so SOLVE is an acronym, and it stands for S stands for search for clues. Okay, this is what we go through when we teach the kids how to do problem sum. We often hear this term: when the problem sum is very long, my kid has a shutdown mode. Shut down, don't want to try, don't want to read, give up already. So the technique we come up with allows the children to build confidence along the way. 1, search for clues, meaning we read and write, or we read a sentence and we start to draw a model. Okay? Then O stands for obtain evidence, which helps the kid actually look up the information. For step 2, Lynn. All right?
Yes.
And then so then when you obtain the evidence, that means if you have put in effort to draw the model, you'll be able to see, 4 units equals to 20. So you have drawn some conclusion from the statement you write or from the model that you draw. And this is worth 1 method mark. This is worth 1 method mark. This is where the method mark is given. Okay. And then at the 3rd step, we teach the kids to locate the key. Very intuitively, they will find what 1 unit is. It is very natural. Once you have this 1 unit, you're at the last stage already. Read the math question and solve the mystery. Why you must read the question is because very often we have kids who actually found boys where they want girls. then I want the boys at the beginning, then they give me the boys at the end. So there are a lot of clues in there, right? But we really need to look very carefully to gain that final answer mark, okay? So this is a strategy that we constantly use in our daily, weekly lessons when we teach the kids how to solve problem sums, okay? Let's go on to the next one. Then we develop the tic-tac-toe approach, okay, so that it works together very well with the solve technique as well. And we use it for various concepts, different types of concepts, but we only use like this tic-tac-toe to present and put together all our information. And the students who went through with me the PPC lesson the last 2 nights, you'll find that, oh yeah, this was how we actually make use of some basic approach, and then we develop and tweak the techniques to solve other questions when it comes in variations. Okay, so this needs some time to master. Okay, let's go on to the next slide. Jillian, I hope you're here. Okay. I thought Jillian, you went out and said. Okay, so this is PSLE topics, okay, that will be covered. Of course, it includes the primary 1 to primary 3 work, but we don't really put it here anymore because after primary 3, right, whatever topics you learn in primary 3, 4, 5, 6 are all the add-ons of all the basic things that you have learned in the lower level, okay? So things like multiplication, division, area perimeter, fractions, basic fractions, they are all add-on versions at the upper primary. So primary 4 and 5 do have a lot of topics in there, and you can see P6, the add-ons are just like 6 new topics. There are some topics that typically in BlueTree we actually teach earlier in term 1 because we believe that they need more time to attain mastery, all right? And that's like to ensure it's a sure score. If you teach it too late, then you have less time to internalize the learning. You understand? Yeah, so I do get a lot of feedback that my teacher is not teaching algebra in term 1. My teacher is teaching algebra in the later part of the year. Those who have sat through with me, you will know that algebra at PSLE level, it's not set 1 algebra, neither is it like, something out of the world. It's simple, but yet they need time to get used to the expression. So I started with term 1, and all those who are with us for regular class, you'll see that every other week, you will see a little bit of algebra in every worksheet. And by the time it's 8 months down the road, they are very comfortable with this topic and they will not panic anymore. Okay, let's go on to the next one. So yeah, there are lots of topics here. The summation of the part that we highlighted in yellow, numbers, measurement, ratio, percentage. Numbers include fractions and decimals as well, okay, for information. Measurements will include area, perimeter, volume, mass, length, time, anything that you can measure. So everything put together is quite a big chunk of it. It's 65% of it. Okay? And they have been taught in P4. P5 is an add-on. P6, even harder questions. That's why parents always ask me, why is P5 so difficult? I would say it's a step knowledge. It's like the learning is not a gradual change. It's one big step that's added on. That is why they find that it's quite hard to transit between P4 to P5. But students who are with us from P4, as early as P3, P4, they are a little bit more comfortable in the transition because we keep stretching them a little bit beyond, and in terms of thinking skills, in terms of stamina, okay, and also in terms of how they actually sit for a little bite-sized test in an exam condition. Okay, let's go to the next one. Yeah, so parents, you can also see that the portion that is quite small here would be actually the algebra and the rate and speed. So, but these two topics at the bottom, you could see they are about 6% and 2% only, right? 6 marks and 2 marks. It's a sure score, right? So why are you neglecting this topic totally? And it's not hard to master it, okay? So we have deliberately did analysis over the last 4 years, and you can see that geometry, all right, from 2020 and 2021 is at the low, less than 20%. Then 2022 and 2023 is like a little higher, like 20%, right? So the visual part, yeah, 7 to 8 questions on that. Geometry means angles. Angles include draw the parallel line, draw the symmetry, like anything to do with drawing, angles related, okay? So it's good to master it. If you need more help, you can actually purchase our flashcards, which includes geometry, volume, and area perimeter, all visual stuff into a flashcard, so you can easily just use it on the go as well. You can take a picture of this, all right? No secret. All right, we educate our parents, every one of you, so that you know how to target, the revision, okay? Parents like to ask, do we need to select topics to practice? I think it's good to, have a understanding of this table, and then you will know where are your kids' weakness to work on. Let's go on. Are you ready? So let's get started with the first question. Thank you, Lynn.
Now we have picked out a few questions from the PSLE 2022 Math paper, and we'll be kind of walking you through, how to address them, how to read the question, and actually how to solve it. Okay, so let's go into the first question. Okay, so we have chosen this multiple choice from paper 1. This is question 14, means this is the second last MCQ for paper 1, and it's usually these questions tend to be a little bit harder because they are 2 marks. So likely you will need 2 steps to solve it. Okay, so let's have a look at this. Okay, so dots are placed at an equal distance from each other along 6 sides of shape A. So shape A has 6 sides, which means it's like a hexagon. Okay, the number of dots on each side is the same, and each corner has a dot on it. When there are 18 dots on shape A, okay, there are 4 dots on each side. So altogether in this shape that we see over here, this is shape A, there are 18 dots and 4 dots on each side. So then it asks, when there are 96 dots on shape A, how many dots are there on each side? Okay, so actually we cover this kind of questions even from P4 onwards. P3, P4, and then after that we go up from P5 and P6 onwards. So we consider this type of question as non-routine questions, right? And let's look at this. So when I ask my students, when we teach this, I ask them, if you think about it, right? If you draw this shape, this hexagon shape, and you put 4 dots on each side, how many dots will you see altogether? And a lot of them will tell me, hey teacher, there should be 6 sides times 4, right? So you should get 24 dots. Okay, but then if we look at it, okay, this shape A only has 18 dots. So the question is, why is it 18 dots and not 24 dots? So look at it, what's the difference between this first one, the one with 24 dots, and the other one with 18 dots? Okay, I'm not sure if you noticed, but the key is that, okay, 6 dots are actually counted twice. Now, which 6 dots are counted? It is the ones at the corners. Can you see? The difference between the first one, where you have 24 dots, right, is that the one with 18 dots actually has a dot on each corner. And this dot on each corner is counted 2 times, right? One on one side and the other on the other side. So there are 6 dots counted twice. Therefore, when you get 18 dots, it's actually 6 sides times 4 dots, right? Minus the 6 dots that are counted twice, right? So you get 24 minus 6, and finally you get 18. So that's how 18 dots are calculated. So once you have understood this, now we can apply it to the fact that there are 96 dots on sheet A. So they give us the final number, 96, right? And we want to find out how many dots are there on each side. So we actually just work backwards. Okay, so let's work backwards together. Alright, now we know that the final answer is 96. So let's work one step backwards first. What minus 6 gives us 96? Parents, can you type your answer in the chat? Let's just first solve the first blank, just above 96. What minus 6 gives us 96? Okay, I see the answers coming in. Yeah, 102. Okay, so then we know, oh, it's 102. Okay, so if it's 102 dots, right, how many dots will there be on each side? There are 6 sides. So, like earlier, you take 24 dots, right? Divided by 6, you get 4 dots on each side. So with your 102, you divide by 6. Now what answer will you get? Y'all can type in the chat. Yeah, I see the answers. Yeah. Okay, y'all got it. So it's actually 17 dots. Okay, and that's why the answer is number 3. Yeah. So in this kind of question, in class, you will actually ask them, to try out, draw different shapes. Draw a square, draw a triangle, and you count. You put 4 dots on each side. How many dots will you have on the shape? Okay, and this same formula will work the same way. Okay, alright, let's go on to the next slide. Teacher Faith, do you have anything you want to add on?
Yeah, sure. Actually, this also involves another concept that is like working backwards. So, like what Teacher Lin has mentioned, we teach this even as young as primary 4, but P3 and P4, the questions are a lot simpler, like one triangle and a square only. So we can literally play with manipulatives in the classroom, right? We will take tokens, we put M&Ms, we put anything just to put together so that children can visually count. And the concept here is that the dots at the corners and the joining points has a double counting. So once they understand this concept, it can be applied to bigger questions, and that is why it is found in the P6 paper. They are very similar, but you will know that the numbers are getting bigger, the thought processes are deeper, and it's no longer directly telling you, but it needs you to work backwards. Okay? Parents, if you have not purchased a PSLE booklet, you can quickly use your handphone and take a photo of this, and after class or tomorrow, you can still take time to analyze our solution. Okay? Thank you.
Yeah, not to worry also, we will send a recording to you. This whole thing is recorded. So this recording will be sent to you in a few days as well, to your email that you registered with us. Okay, so let's go on to the next question. So we chose another question in paper 1 as well. This is question 29. So this is the second last question, which also tends to be slightly harder. Okay, altogether there are 30 questions in paper 1. So this is the second last question. Okay, so this is a pattern question. It starts off by telling us a pattern is formed using the letters A, B, C, D, E, okay? And the first 15 letters are shown. Okay, so we see the letters here. Okay, the letter A appears 137 times in the pattern. Okay, what is the greatest possible number of letters in the pattern? So, look at this pattern here. We have A, B, A, C, A, and then A, B, A, C, A, A, B, A, C, A. Okay, so the first step, right, to do is to identify where the pattern repeats. Okay, so if you notice, the pattern repeats at A, B, A, C, A, and then we have another one, A, B, A, C, A. So the pattern repeats at these 5 letters, which means that one set of these 5 letters, there are 3 A's. Okay, so now we want to find out the number of sets. Okay, we call this one set, okay, like a Happy Meal set. Okay, all these 5 letters, they come together and then they just keep repeating like a stamp. Okay, so we want to find out how many times this set would appear if the letter A appears 137 times. Okay, because there's the dot, right? So this tells us that the pattern goes on. Okay, so what we do is we take 137, which is the number of times letter A appears, divided by 3. Why divide by 3? Because we said before that one set has 3 A's. And we get 45 remainder 2. So what is 45 remainder 2? It is 45 sets of A, B, A, C, A. Okay, what would that mean for us? Okay, so that means the last set, there will be this repeated 45 times. Okay, and if that's the case, how many letters will we have? We will have 45 times 5 letters, which will have a total of 225 letters. Okay, so that we know for the 45 sets, that is 225 letters. What about the remainder 2? Where does that appear? Because we still have A that appears 2 more times, it's just not in a set of 5. Okay, so if you were to extend it a bit more, okay, you write another A, B, A, C, A, you will see that the remainder is here. Remainder 1, remainder 2. That's the 2 times that letter A appears. Okay, so the question asks us for what is the greatest possible number of letters in the pattern. Alright, you know that we have already calculated that we have 225 letters. Okay, and we know that there's 2 remainder, right? A and A. So what's the greatest possible number of letters? Okay, can y'all try? Type in the chat, let us know. Is it 229? So it's like 225 plus 2 plus 4 plus 3 plus 5. Okay, I see different answers in the chat. Okay, alright, let's review the answer. Okay. So let me show you. So the greatest possible number of letters would actually be 225 plus 2, which is the 2 A's that we see, and another plus 2 because we have B and C. That's the greatest possible. We don't want it to just be A, B, A, right? We can still add in a C because that's the most number of letters that can be shown, right? Which still fulfills the criteria of letter A appearing 137 times. So the answer is 229. Yeah. So you need to add the 2 plus the 2.
How many of you got tricked? Let's give them some time. Let's give them some time to analyze this question. Yeah, I would say that actually in patterns question, it appears almost every year. But however, patterns question fall into 2 types. This is called the small question because it's only worth 2 marks. Sometimes you see the big question, which is the typical 5 marks that will scare everyone. So sometimes the kids walk out of the room and say, this year no pattern question. But actually these questions are under patterns, the category of patterns. So there is a pattern question in 2022. Okay, thank you. I saw a parent's comment. It says, this question is tricky. Good. Eileen say, I got it. Thank you. Well done. Yeah. So you can see that if the children, let me see, this is question 29. Okay, so it is open-ended question. So I would say that if the child did not show 225 plus 2 plus 2, right, or plus 4, yeah, it's just 2 marks gone. Yeah, so depending on also the mark allocation, there's a possibility that if the child get 545 sets remainder 2, that could be the 1 mark, and then the other 1 mark is on the 229. Yeah, so yeah, it depends on how they allocate the mark. There is no fixed structure, so I can only name you 2 possibilities on the allocation of marks. Okay, I really love the parents' comment. So now you know, parents, that when we choose questions to go through with the kids, right, to highlight to you, It's, sometimes you go like, oh, I spent time to attend this webinar. Why you only show 2-mark questions? So easy. As you can see, PSI question is no longer talking about see or how. It's talking about thinking. Are you sharp enough to pick up where are the tricks and do not be trapped by it? Okay? Yeah. Someone say, where is D and E? No, there's no D and E. Oh, yeah, a pattern is formed using... in the question. Okay, a little error. Typo. It should be letters A and B only.
A, B, C, yeah.
Okay. One parent asked, why need to plus 2 plus 2? Teacher Lim, let's do it one more time. We go on to the next question before we go to the next question.
Just to explain the 2 plus 2, is it?
Yeah. Just one last time.
Okay. So why we add 2 plus 2 is, first we need to add the 2 A's, right? The remainder 1 and remainder 2A, right? So that's 2. That's 2 letters. And then the maximum number of letters would be B plus C as well. So that's the other 2. Yeah, you follow the color codes. So the 2 blue ones represent the A, okay? And then the green represents B and C. Okay, so that's why we plus 2 and plus 2. So that's the maximum number of letters that can appear. Yeah.
You know what, parents and students, they will ask, okay, so we better start memorizing this. Because in my test again, I'll tell you the answer is it will not appear again. It will not appear again, but similar version, a twisted version might appear. You understand what I mean? Yeah, so now it's A, B, C, right? Abaka, right? So now they might add A, B, B, A, C. So if the structure change, then the rules change as well. So you cannot memorize pattern question. You must work on your analytical skills and observation skills. Okay? Alright, let's go on. Next question.
Okay, next we go on to some questions in paper 2. Okay, so this first question is a 2-mark question. Okay, so Marion had caps for sale, like, hats, that kind of caps. Okay, in the morning, she sold 1/3 of the caps. Okay, in the afternoon, she sold 1/5 of the remaining caps. Okay, after that, there were 56 caps left. So how many caps did Mariam have at first? Okay, so whenever I teach this kind of questions, I ask the students to look out for some key phrases to understand what kind of concept this question is. And a key phrase in this question is 1/5 of the remaining caps. So this tells us that they are testing, the concept is on remainder fraction. Okay, and every time we do remainder fraction questions, a good way to solve it is using a drop-down model. Okay, so this is what we teach in class. Okay, so for example, we will start off with the total number of caps she had for sale. Alright, and then we know in the morning she sold 1/3 of the caps. So let's just write it down in the model. So 1/3 was sold in the morning. Now, why we call it a drop-down model is because the remaining 2/3, now we drop it down, and how do we split it? We split it into 5 parts. Okay, why? Because she sold 1/5 of the remainder caps. So it's not that 2 parts. Okay, that 2 parts will split into 5 now. Alright, 5, and she sold 1/5 of it in the afternoon. So now we can say, oh, 1/5 of it that is sold in the afternoon. Okay, and the remainder, which will be the last 4, okay, is 56 caps. So that's the 56 caps left. So now they ask us, how many caps did Mariam have at first? So we add the question mark in the beginning, right? The whole amount. How much does she have? Okay, so the beauty of the drop-down model is so that students can really see, right? The remainder, at first, it's 2/3, right? And then after that, it goes down and it breaks up into 5. Okay? So next, I'll ask the students. You have 2, and then this becomes 5, right? So all these parts, they are different sizes. How can we cut them up so that they are all the same size? Okay, what is a common multiple between 2 and 5? Can you type in the chat? What's the common multiple between 2 and 5? Yeah, 10. Okay, I see the comments coming in. 10, right? So if it's 10, what does that mean? If we want to make all of them the same size, we want to cut them up. So the bottom, we will cut up that into 10 parts, right? So each part we kind of half. Alright, and on top, we will cut it into each section into 5. So that's where we draw the dotted lines. Right? Now we make everything the same size. Yeah. So now it's easy to compare when we can say that, oh, the remainder is actually 10 units. That means the total is 15 units. And how many units were there with 56 caps that was left? Is 8 units. Yeah. Alright. So let's just write down what we know now. Okay, so 8 units equals to 56. That means 1 unit will be equal to 56 divided by 8, right? Which equals to 17. So we need to find how much she had in the beginning, right? Which should be 15 units. So parents and the students as well, can you tell us what would the final answer be? Can you type in the chat? We want to find the total amount that he had at first. Yeah, 105. Nice. Yeah, so we take, after we found 1 unit equals to 7, so 15 units will be 15 times 7, which is 105. Okay.
Well done, students. I saw a lot of 105 in your comments. Good job. So if you find that our teaching is a little bit fast, not to worry, you can take a photo first. Then later on, when you watch the video replay, all right, tomorrow, I think later you'll be up in Facebook already, where you can actually just rewind, fast forward to the segment you want, and then you can watch again. When did the kids start learning remainder fraction concept? Probably in about P4 is a very simple one, and P5 most commonly taught and tested. And this concept I've typed in the chat to inform you that it is the favorite question, okay, of almost every school, every exam, P5 and P6. You must learn how to solve remainder fraction question. Must. Another question asks, can we use branching? Yes, you can, but be very careful. Branching is not our preferred method here at BlueTree. It's because I have marked thousands of PSLE scripts where the child could not present it properly and had marks deducted. The entire thing was correct, answer is correct, but we will minus 1 mark for an expression that is not accurate, like mathematically unsound, okay? So you need to be extremely careful, and that's why we accept it. We accept the children's work if their work is right, but if their work is wrong, we will advise them how to improve on it, okay? Good, thank you very much. I love your model, Teacher Lin. The model is very clear, how the drop down and how the subdividing happened. Okay, kids, you must learn drop down model approach.
Yeah. So my students also like this model as well, and it really helps them to see how we can cut it up into the same size.
Very good.
Let's move on. Okay, so we have another question. Oh, okay, this one, hand over to you, Teacher Fei.
Thank you. So the number of boys and girls in the hall were in the ratio of 2:5. So when you read this statement, you can actually start drawing your tic-tac-toe table, or you can draw your model to solve it, okay? So what concept is this? We do not know yet. So we need to read on. After 11 boys entered the hall and half the girls left the hall, then the ratio become 1:1. So you can see that at the end, the ending of both groups of people were the same. So we know that it is a equal ending concept. This is one of the most commonly tested concept, P5, B6. B4, they will also learn it, but most of the time using model drawing. Okay, Teacher Lin, please click on the solution. So we use a start, change, and approach, and then that's how we draw the tic-tac-toe table very quickly. Some schools use before, change, after. Same idea, not an issue. And we fill into the table, all right, 2 units and 5 units. And then we also indicate that there's 11 boys entering the hall and half of the girls leaving the hall, okay? And later, finally, the ratio becomes 1:1. So, yeah, so we will need to know what is half. It's not 5 minus half became what, 4.5 girls, right? Yeah, it's 5 units of girls, but half of them, meaning like 2.5 units of them. So one of the way is to work with this number. Another way is, yes, we change the units to something that is easier to work with, all right? So if we multiply by 2 on this side, we need to multiply 2 on the other side as well. That's right. So we have 4:10. Remember, ratio 2:5? The equivalent ratio is 4:10. Very often, 99% of the time, whenever a ratio is given to you, it's never okay to work with the first ratio. You will always have to make changes and changes and changes. You are not wrong. It's just the nature of ratio, percentage, fraction questions. Okay? And then later on, let's analyze what happened to the ending units. Yeah, so if the girls 10 minus 5 become 5 units, then the boys will also end with 5 units because it states that the ending is the same. So therefore, we are able to draw a relationship. Children, can you all type in the chat? Yep, let's stop there, Lynn. Children, type in the chat. What does 1 unit represent? Thank you, Penny. Good job. Yes. Yes. Everyone that's typing actively, you are correct. 1 unit represents that difference of 11 boys. Children, this is 1 mark. Parents, take note. If you write 1U equals to 11, it's 1 mark. This is a very important step. And if you did notice, I did not read the math question. How many children were there in the hall at first? Like, I didn't read that part. Because the process of reading and writing and coming up with this relationship of 1 unit is 11 is really far more important. Okay? When you try to find the children in the hall at first, you keep pondering, what should I do next? You can't do anything if you write nothing. So you have to write first. Okay? And so now we find out the children in the hall at first, meaning we will put our eyes focus on the word start. At 4U plus 10U, you can see the numbers in red. It's 14 units. And therefore, we'll use 14U times 11. Okay? And that's how we get the answer, 154. Can I do it my way? A kid asked, let me see what's your way. Let me see what have you typed. So sorry, I need a while because many people have typed in something and overlap each other. Okay, yes, Eileen, your work is correct. Yeah, accepted. Okay, so this is a 2-mark question. It's like a sure must score it. Don't lose the mark, okay? You want to take a picture of this before we go on to the next question? So there are ratio concepts that confirm will be tested. Equal ending, equal beginning, equal difference. Yeah, total stays the same. Not equal difference, sorry. Constant difference. And constant total. These are the commonly tested ones in P5 and P6. The favorite. So I have all these put together in a book, the FRP book, which is you can buy over in our BlueTree website, and you can practice all these different schemes. Yeah. Okay, let's go on to the next one.
So this next question is the English question, and this is actually worth 4 marks. Yeah. So why 4 marks is because there are several parts to it. Okay, so we'll look at part A first. Okay, so part A is 2 marks. Alright, so let's read the question. Okay, they tell us that ABCD is a parallelogram. Okay, ACE is an equilateral triangle, and DC equals to DE. So in part A, they want us to find the angle just start annotating. Alright, they want us to find angle ACD. So that's the one highlighted in red. That's angle ACD, okay? So now let's also piece together what is told to us in the question. Okay, we know that ABCD is a parallelogram. Parallelogram. What do you remember about parallelograms? What do they have? Can you type in the chat? What's the special property of parallelograms? Okay, if you can't remember, I give you a clue. Okay, it's like a slanted rectangle. Yes, okay, I heard somebody say that. Two parallel sides. Yeah, two parallel sides. Okay, so you have two parallel. Okay, one side is parallel, the other side also parallel. Alright, and then what else? The opposite angles are the same. Yeah, opposite angles. Okay, so keep them in mind. These are all the clues that are given to you in the question. The next one is triangle ACE is an equilateral triangle. So every time we see equilateral triangle, I always tell my students, please find the triangle, okay, and write in that line. What does that line mean? You all know? Okay, I've drawn a little purple line on each one. That means that all three sides are the same, what? The same length. Alright? Yeah, the same size. Okay, so if we know that all three sides are the same, then what happens to the angle of all three sides? What would that be? The angle of each side of the equilateral triangle is how many degrees? Yeah, it's 60 degrees. Okay, I see the chat coming in, the answers coming in. Yeah, so 60 degrees. So straight away they can annotate that in their diagram. So put in 60 degrees. Okay, so that's the next one. And finally, the last clue that we are given is DC equals to DE. Okay, so we write in another two lines. So that shows that these two lines are, okay, these two sides are the same length. And what kind of triangle would this be? This one, this green one that it lies within. Do y'all remember the name of it? Two sides with the same length. What kind of triangle is this called? It's not equilateral triangle. Okay, it's an isosceles triangle. Yeah, I saw somebody say that. Yeah, isosceles. Okay, so that means if two sides are the same length, that means two angles, okay, are also the same size as well. Okay, so that's the two angles that I put in green. Okay, so let's use all these clues to start solving the question. Now, whenever we have to find angle, this angle here, right? Angle ACD, right? This is, we're not given like any number, so we need to get some clues around it. So usually I'll ask my students to look at angles that are nearby, right? And one of the nearest angle is angle DCE, right? And angle DCE is part of a isosceles triangle. So how do we find it? We take 180 minus 138, which is the angle that we are given there. Okay, 138, right? And we divide by 2, which will give us 21 degrees. So now we know that it is 21 degrees. Okay, and earlier you already said, right, that each angle of a equilateral triangle is 60 degrees. So can you tell me how much angle ACD would be? Can you think about it in the chat? Okay, y'all type in. Yeah, I see some answers, yes. Alright, okay. Yeah, so the answer is 39 degrees because we take 60 degrees minus the 21 degrees that we found earlier from angle DCE, and we get 39 degrees. Okay, nice. Yeah. So really, when looking at angles question, they have to students really have to like analyze, see all the clues that you're given so far, annotate as well. Okay, on the diagram, use a blue pen if possible. Okay, don't use a black pen because then you might get confused with how the diagram is already printed in black. Okay, annotate as much as you can so that when you have to start finding the angle, you can use all these clues to help you find it. Yeah. Half of a parallelogram is an isosceles triangle. Okay, that's a good question that is asked. It's actually not. Okay, half a parallelogram may not be an isosceles triangle. Why? Because just because two sides are parallel, right, it doesn't mean that, you know, the ones that are next to each other are the same length. We cannot assume that. But we have another type of four angle side, okay, which can be, and that's the rhombus. Yeah, so a rhombus is known as a slanted square because all four sides are the same length. So yes, if you cut a rhombus into half, then you have two isosceles triangles. Yeah, good question. Okay, so that is for part A. Okay, so now we can say that ACD equals to 39. So we keep that in mind. We will need that for part B. Okay, so let's go into part B. We need to find angle CDA. So let's look for that in the diagram. Okay, and it's over here in red. Okay, angle CDA. Okay, so angle CDA, right? Let's look at some of the angles around it to get some clues. Right? And one of the things that we notice is that angle CDA is also within a triangle. Right? And one of those angles is what we have already found, which is angle ACD from part A. We know that that was 39 degrees. That's what all of you calculated just now. Right? So now the question is, can we find the other angle in orange, right? Which is angle CAD. Okay, if we find this other angle, then we can find angle CDA. Alright, so how do we find it? Look at this angle. What is it within? It is within, okay, the equilateral triangle, which is 60 degrees. So angle CAD is 60 minus 30. So 30 is the angle that we're already given, right next to it. So 60 minus 30, we get 30. Okay, so yes, that was actually quite easy. We can find what angle CAD is. So now, can we find what angle CDA is? Okay, can y'all type in your answers in the chat? Yeah, what y'all think the final answer is? Oh, okay. Yeah, nice. Okay, so a lot of people got the answer. Yeah, so we take 180 minus 30 minus 39, right? The two orange angles, and we get 111. Yeah, great. Okay, so this is the next mark. Okay, so we can also write that in. Okay, we know that now that's 111. Okay, so we keep all this information in because since there are so many parts, right, you can see how they link to one another. Yeah, our earlier part, the ACD was used here, 39 degrees. Yeah, okay, so now we have 111. Now let's go on to part C. Okay, find angle EAB. This is also one mark. So let's look for it in the diagram and okay, it's there. Angle EAB. That is that in red. Alright, so how do we find it? So once again, let's look for some angles nearby. Okay, so one of the angles that we've already been given is the 30-degree angle, right? Which is EAD. Okay, so that's one angle that makes up that. And the other angle that makes up this angle is also angle DAB. Okay, that's the one in blue. So now, can we find out what angle DAB is? Now remember that it lies within earlier is the parallelogram. Okay, if you notice, the blue slanted rectangle with the parallelogram. So what are some key things about parallelogram? We have things like interior angles, the letter C. Right? What is the rule for that? Okay, angles within the interior angles, the letter C, they will add up to 180 degrees, which means that angle DAB, right, equals to 180 minus angle CDA, so that's the other angle, and that is 111, which we found just now. Okay, so this is a concept that we learn, that students are taught in P5. So you have interior angles, you have alternate angles. Alternate angles are usually like the letter Z. Alright, you have corresponding angles as well, which is they look for the letter F. Okay, so all these are things that they learn in relation to parallel lines and how that helps us to find clues in finding the angles. Okay, so angle DAB will be 180 minus 111, which is 69 degrees. So a few parents also wrote in here 69 degrees. So we find that angle DAB is 69. So now, can we find how much is angle CDA, which equals to, okay, sorry, that's a small typo. We're looking for angle EAB. Okay, so how much is angle EAB? Yeah, if we add it up together, it will be 69 degrees plus 30 degrees, which is a total of 99 degrees. So that's the final answer. Angle EAB equals to 99 degrees. Okay, any questions for this? Yeah, so always look for angles that are nearby to each other, and then you can figure out what the unknown angle is. Yeah, so the answer is 99 degrees. Yes. Okay. Alright, let's go on to the next question. Okay, so next one, Teacher Faith?
Yeah, I'm here. So angles question is actually quite hard for some of the children because they learned it very briefly in P5 and then they went to sit for their exams. So most of you will realize that if you look back into your kids' P5 SA2 papers, there are chances that the small questions they are doing fine, but the bigger questions they kind of fumble over because they did not have enough experience to visualize the picture, the angles, and at the same time know the properties that apply. So we have put together a couple of questions and notes in our flashcards. The objective is so that the kids can view the questions a couple more times and have this visual recognition of what teacher Lynn is trying to say, the interior angle, the letter C, the letter F, alternate angles, vertically opposite angles. There's so many, right? And parents, I know you are feeling very comfortable because we had the experience, you and I had the experience of using these properties throughout our secondary years. So that allowed us to master it. But the kids actually had a very short, less than 1 month. They learned it in less than 1 month, they can go for exams. So you saw just now the table analysis. It is about 20 over marks, right? Therefore, you'll be good if we can score it for these questions. All right, it is not lengthy like those 5-mark word problem, right? If you can score it in this question, it's quite easy to do it. Okay, so don't give up. Yeah, let's go on to the next question, which is actually a very typical question that the children struggle to solve this type of questions. Muthu spent 4/7 of his money to buy 6 identical pens. All right, so if the 4/7, the 4 had been a nicer number like 3/7, then the kids would kind of like feel quite comfortable trying to equate the 3 unit and the 6. But however, it's a 4 and 6, so later we need to make some adjustments to the unit, connection here. So he spent the rest of his money to buy another 4 such pens and 3 identical. A new object came in, files. So a couple of years ago, there was also another question on like files. I think that was like big file and small file kind of question. All right. So that's when more things are involved in the story. The children need to stay very focused. What fraction of Muthu's money was spent to buy the 3 files? Okay, come let's see how we solve this. So we will indicate 6 pens is equals to 4/7 of his money. Now, parents and children, please take note of this, that we spell out every word here. So if you write 6 equal 4/7, it's wrong, mathematically wrong. So we have to spell out 6 pens equals 4/7 of his money. With this, the equal sign or arrow sign, you'll be fine. You will not be penalized. Okay, let's go on to the next. And then we would like to find out what 1 unit is. That's the one, right? Remember, SOLVE, we'll always need to find out what is 1 unit. So 1 pen is equals to 4/7 divided by 6. So the division of fractions is not learned in P5, more in P6. So the technique we teach the kids to memorize, to learn this part is the keep, change, flip, which sounds like KFC, right? Yeah, but it's KCF. So you flip it around, so it's 4/7, keep the fraction, change the symbol to times, and then 1/6 of it. Frankly, we did not change the symbol. But when I say that I want to take the pizza to divide by 2, actually I'm saying I'm going to multiply by half because I'm going to take half of it. So some kids already understood this concept, which is a lot easier. But some kids find that, divide by 6 is actually becomes 1/6. If they find it hard to understand this concept, then that's why memorizing of this KCF comes in at this moment first. You might be saying, Teacher Faith, you say cannot memorize math. Certain techniques, we all start with memorizing first until we attain mastery, and it will just come second nature, or you eventually understand the concept. Just like when you start drawing a Pokemon, you're not good at drawing, so what do? You copy, right? You copy from what you're looking at. Then later, you take it away, and then from memory, you will start to draw it, right? Until you're so good at it, then you're able to come up with variation of the picture, whether it's smiling, it's dancing, or wearing a hat. So it evolves stages. So memorizing is still one way of learning things. Let's go on. So the answer will be 4/42. We reduce the lowest term, it will be 2/21 of his money. We put it there so you don't get confused, okay? It's of his money. So the next stage, identify the items we have, okay? So 4/7 of his money was on the 6 pence, okay? And he spent the rest of his money to buy another 4 of such pence. So if we group it together, 6 and 4 makes 10 pence, okay? And then so we will need to also find out what does this 10 pence represent, what fraction of his money, right? Yeah, so 1 pen is 2 units of the money. So 10 pence must be 20 units out of that 21. So that's why 10 times 2/21. So if I have 21 units, 20 units is for the 10 pence. And so therefore the remaining portion, 1 whole minus 20/21, right, would represent the money for the 3 files. So therefore the 3 files is 1/21 of his money. That's it. Ta-da! 2 marks. Parents, is it very hard to score for these 2 marks? Technically, I think so. If everything here is whole numbers and it's very nice, friendly numbers, it'll be a lot easier. But because they use numbers that are quite hard to see or visualize, that's where the children feel like they lost confidence in fraction. So there's very much a need to revisit this question again. Okay, think through, cover, redo. I always believe practice makes perfect. That is why in O-levels we do 10 series. We keep practicing over and over again. Okay, you ready? We'll go on to part B of this question. So the next part asks, mentioned that for every 5 files bought, 1 additional file will be given free. So it means that you buy 5, you get 6. So how many files will Muthu get in total if he were to spend all his money on files? So I don't want pens anymore, I only want files. Okay, let's see what we found earlier, that 1 unit of his money can buy 3 files. So then I need to know, all his money, he won't use all his money to buy only files, don't want pens anymore. So 3 times 21, thank you. So then we know all his money can buy 63 files. They are very clever in giving you numbers that are not very divisible. That is P6 work. If it's P4 work, they will make it 60 files. Like very nice, 60 divided by 5. You know what I mean? So they give you 63 and the children feel uncomfortable again. Oh, someone gave answers already. We shall see if it's correct, okay? Yeah, so how many files would he get in total if he were to spend all his money? So all his money can buy 63. 1 set identification, 1 set approach is always tested every PSLE and school exam. Please set approach. Next one, thank you. 63 divided by 5 will tell me there are 12 perfect sets, and I can buy another 3 additional files. That 3 files is not a perfect set, so there won't be any more free items, right? Okay. Yeah, so let's put together 12 sets of 5 files. You'll get Oh, 12. We know we have 12 free files. And we also know we have 60 files. Correct or not? But there'll be 3 files without promotion. Thank you. And then now let's put together. There will be 60 files plus the 12 plus the 3. Did I say 60 files? Oh, 63 files. I thought it's 60. Oh, okay. So so total is still 75. Okay, so we can also work it out with like 12 times 5 or 12 times, let me see, 12 times 6, 72 plus the 3 more. So there are different ways of getting to the last stage depending on how you visualize or understand the question. You can go for the 12 times 5 because you bought them, and then you know there are 12 more free, and you know you have to buy another 3. Okay, while some of us see as one set is total 6 items, so we can take 12 times 6 and then plus 3. So these are all the files you will get free and the purchase one. Did you get this question correct? Yeah, quite challenging. A little bit challenging for a 2-mark with fraction involved. Take a photo, parents. You'll be good to review the questions again. Yeah. So if you have a lot of fractions in your presentation, be very careful how you present it, okay?
So the reason why you can see these questions also getting harder is because in paper 2, right, we have 17 questions, alright? And usually the questions further at the back, they tend to be harder. And you can see that each question there's a higher weightage in terms of marks. So this question 15, there are 2 parts, and altogether each part was 2 marks, 2 marks, so that was a total of 2 marks. Yeah, so you can see how the steps actually increase and the difficulty also increase. Okay, so now we have one last question to go through. Okay, and let's look into it. Okay, this is question number 16, the second last question of this paper 2. Okay, and this tells us that there's a plot of land, alright, with an area of 872 meters square. And that land is divided into 3 rectangular fields of equal width. Width is always the shorter part, right? Then we have the length. Or width can also be known as breadth. Okay? Now the fields are fenced using 177 meters of fencing that is indicated by the dotted line in the figure below. Okay, we can see the dotted lines here. So this question also has 2 parts. So part A asks us to find what is the length of AB. So that's the question mark over there. Alright, so this question, right, uses the concept of perimeter and area. Because there is fencing, alright, there is the length that we're looking for, so there's perimeter, and there's also some area. Why? Because we see that the plot of land, the area is 876 meters square. So let's just keep that in mind. Okay, so we want to find the length of AB. So how do we find that? Okay, let's make use of the information that we are given. We have 177 meters of fencing, right? And that is put around the 3 plots of land. So what makes up 177 meters? Well, we have 36. Okay, so that's the first green line I put there. 36 meters, that is the whole long side of all the 3 rectangular fields. Okay, so that's 36 meters. Now another thing, alright, is the other side. The other 3 widths, these are the equal widths, right? And they also add up to 36 meters. So when I teach these kind of questions, I always ask the students to use a highlighter, alright, and draw in, okay, with one color. Like for example, here is green. So green on one side, the other side use also green. So those 3 lines, if you push them out, right, those add up to 36 as well. So there is another 36. Okay, what else? We also know that the bottom they gave us it is, okay, I highlight that in blue, that is 27 meters. Now how many of that do we have? We have 2 of it. Alright, 127 and then one more on top, 27 meters. So that is also another 27 meters. Okay, and finally what is left? We have AB, which is what we are supposed to find, that's the question mark, and AB appears 2 times. So one time here and another time below. Okay, so that means 177 meters of fencing is made out of 36 plus 36 plus 27 plus 37 plus AB and AB. AB is repeated twice because there are two sides, right, of the rectangle. So the two lengths of the first rectangle. So let's put that together. Okay, if we add it all together, we know that 177 equals to 126 plus AB plus AB. That means AB plus AB equals to 177 minus 126, which should be equals to 51 meters. Okay, now can you all tell me in the chat what is the length of AB? 180. Okay, can you all type it in the chat? Okay, yeah, I see the answers coming in. Yes, you're right. Okay, so that is 25.5. We take 51 meters divided by 2 and we get 21.5 meters. And that's our answer. Yeah. So just visualizing it with different colors. Alright. When we do practice, that's okay. Of course, during PSLE, they can't use the highlighters actually. They can't use it. Okay, but this is in terms of visualization during practice. They can use this to just see the question a bit clearer. Okay. Next, let's look at part B. Okay, now we are asked to find the perimeter of the plot of land. Okay, and this is worth 3 marks. Okay, the previous one was 2 marks, so this is 3 marks. So this is a little bit harder. Okay, let's look into it. Now, let's think about it. What would the perimeter of this whole figure be? It's not 177. That's the fencing. Okay, perimeter is always the outside of the whole figure. Okay, which will be a bit of an unusual shape. It looks like an E now, right? Okay, so we have 36, which we already given. Okay, and then we have 36 on the other side. Okay, that one we already talked about earlier. So the two widths. Okay, we add up 36 and 36. Okay, then we also have 25.5. That's the AB that we found. Okay, we know that. And we also have 27. That's the bottom part. Now, what's the part that we don't know? We actually don't know what the short part is. That's in red. Question mark. That's the first question mark. And we don't know what the other side is. That's the other question mark. Okay? Because all this added up together, this makes up the perimeter of the figure. We don't count the lines inside. That's not inside the perimeter. Perimeter is always the outside lines. So this is the outline of the whole plot of land. And we have these two lengths which are unknown at the moment. Okay? So it's okay. Let's try to dig a bit deeper and look at the question. So can you see that these two lengths, they are connected by these two purple lines, and I call them CD. Okay, because they are the same length. Okay, and how is this important? Well, we know that the purple and the red line for the first one, it actually makes up 25.5 meters, right? And to find the red one, we take 25.5 meters minus the purple part, which is CD. Okay, and then for the bottom one, right? We have actually it's made up of the whole thing, the purple and the red part adds up to 27 meters, right? So to find the red part, we take 27 minus CD again. So finding out what is the length of CD is going to be super important for us to get the answer. So how do we go about this? Alright, let's start by labeling our plot of land. We have 3 plots, right? This whole field, there are 3 rectangular fields. So let's call them X, Y, and Z. Okay? And the next thing we're going to use, the clue that we're given in the question is the area. So we know the area of X plus the area of Y plus the area of Z makes up 876 meters squared. Okay. Now, can we find out what the area of any of them is? Area X or area Y or area Z? Okay, we can. Why? Because we know that the breadth of each rectangle or the width of each rectangle is actually equal. That's what we were told earlier. So we can take 36 meters divided by 3, which is 12 meters. So each side is 12 meters. Alright? That means for area of X, right? The first one is made up of 12 meters times 25.5. That's the breadth times the length. Okay? Then we have the area of Y, and And that one we don't know because we don't know what CD is, but we know that the breadth is 12. Okay, so it's 12 times CD. And how about the area of Z? Area of Z is also 12 times 27. So the length is 27. So all these three adds up to 876. So now we can actually start solving, right, for what CD is. So let's first multiply it. We find the area of X, which is 306, right, plus 12 times CD plus 324, which gives us this 876. So let's bring that over. Let's just find what is the area of Y, which is 12 times CD. That equals to 876 minus the area of, we minus the area of X and Y, which is minus 306 minus 324. Alright, so then we know that the area, okay, 12 times CD gives us 246. Now, can you all figure out what is the area of CD? So what's the length of CD? Y'all try to type it in your calculators or whatnot. Okay? What's 246 divided by 12? Y'all type in the chat. Yes, okay, I see the answers. Yeah. So you don't get a very nice number, but you know, that's the nature of the questions. Alright, you get 20.5 meters. Okay, so now we know that CD is 20.5 meters, which means we can start to find the length that we couldn't find earlier. Okay, so then let's put that back into the earlier part. So let's see the shorter red one. Okay, that was 25.5 meters minus CD, right? So what would the length be? Okay, so that would be 25.5 minus 20.5, and that will be 5 meters. So now we know that the shorter one is actually 5 meters. Now let's look at the next one. It is 27 minus CD, which is 27 minus 20.5, and that means it's 6.5. Okay, so now we have found out these two unknown lengths, and we can solve the question already. So let's put it back into the parameter. So we have 36 plus 36 plus 25.5 plus 27 plus the 5 now that we know, and the 6.5. Now, can you add it all together and tell me what's your final answer? Yeah, nice. Okay, I see the answers. Yes, good. So the answer is 136 meters. Okay, and that's the final answer. Okay, so thank you everyone for your participation. Yeah, I really appreciate all your comments and the fact that you guys are adding this up and really checking this. Yeah.
Good job, everyone. Give yourself a pat on your back. Okay. This is a typical 5-mark question, and if you think that, of course, due to a little bit of space constraint, we presented a question such that it's put together. However, most of the time, the children actually break it into small little parts, and the work won't look so nicely placed like that. It will be like a couple more steps, which is okay. We accept it. All right. Yeah, because it will be quite difficult if we have a couple more slides and then we have to toggle between 2 slides or 3 slides, see? So we put it together, and then you can see the solution and all the different parts of this question together. So an hour has passed, or a little bit more, and then you could see that actually we only covered like about how many questions? About 7 questions?
Yeah.
7, all right? And in a typical exam situation, your child within an hour of the paper 1 should be able to finish the entire paper 1, which is 30 questions. 30, okay? 30 in paper 1. Then in paper 2, it's 17 questions in 1.5 hours. So look at the speed that we are going, because we are going through a little bit more explanation, in-depth discussion and all. If you're already feeling very tired, or you're feeling like you're not able to follow up with the pace, or you're not able to understand it totally yet, yeah, so it is a sign that you probably need a little bit more practice, familiarity, the speed of reading, the type of questions. So you should get started right now for your revision. Okay, P5, P6, every one of you. you should gear up already and start practicing. Okay, let's go on to the next one. Thank you very much for your attendance today. How should I start to prepare my child? Send to me, send to teacher Lin. Let's go. How we should prepare. Yeah, daily practice, consistency is very important. There are so many heuristics to learn. How to learn all of this in 3 weeks? Cannot. How to learn in 2 months? Also not enough time. So we need P5, 1.5 years. Close to 2 years, all right? And then for P6, you must start now. Yeah, don't wait till very last minute. It's too stressful to learn all of it. And a lot more. Click. Yes, a lot more. There's so many concepts to learn, and everything I listed out here are the most popular ones. They are always tested. Any more? Is there a third slide on this? Ang pao! No, Cheng. Yeah. So, Chinese New Year is coming. So, yeah, we would like to give away some ang paos. If you sign up with us for a full term, okay, you will receive $88 ang pao. So, it's deductible from the cost fee. So, take down the number 96160312, and then my staff will address, fill it out with more information. You can also go to our website www.BlueTreeEducation.com, click on the tuition, and then you can click on the subject. You can fill out the subjects, the levels, the classes, and see which schedule or location best fit your kid schedule. I know your kid is like busier than you, right? Okay, so this is terms and condition apply. New students sign up. Okay, then for existing student, yes, you also can receive the ang pao if you are signing up for a new subject. So example, you are already a science student, then you want to sign up for math, new one. Yes, you will receive this ang pao. You already have science and math. Now you want to sign up another new subject, example, English with us. Yes, you will get this ang pao. Okay? So just drop us a call, drop us a message, and then you will be able to enjoy this promotion. Primary level only. Okay, that's a very important point here. Secondary has its own promotion. So if you have secondary kids, Sec 1 to Sec 4, come drop us a message and we'll share our latest promotion with you. Okay? Let's see. Oh yeah, this is the secondary one. By 4 lessons. Oh, this is another promotion. Oh, 31st Jan, applicable to 31st Jan today. Today last day. Right, you just drop us a message. Okay, we'll work out something special for you. Let's go to the next promo. What do we have? Yeah, so there are a couple of things that are new in 2024. We have put together a book of all the very important heuristics that you need to know for FRP, and to support it, the other flashcards is on all the visual type of question, geometry, volume, and area per meter. Yeah, so grab hold of them. The first batch went out of stock already, and then we had a reprint of the round 2. So purchase them before it runs out again. Okay, and then you have more time to actually review it till end of the year. Thank you, babies. Thank you for your support. Let's go on next one. Yep, and then science, of course, unit of cell. This is our new launched book. There's also other books like the keyword book and all. So just hop onto our website, click on the top right hand corner. I think you'll see something like shop, SHOP, and then you can review every item that's in the shop. Put it into the shopping cart right now. Maybe I should do Sims. Let's go. We have math discussion group, science discussion group, and the secondary discussion group. Okay, join in, and then there's the place where you can have a bit more informal discussion about math questions, about science questions, why things are like that, how to solve, and then the community is there to support one another. Okay, all right. So just do a search like BlueTree Math in Facebook and BlueTree Science. You will find us. Let's go on, next one. Okay, yeah, thank you very much. So at this moment, we are definitely more than 139 subscribers. For sure, way past it. So join our YouTube, Instagram, Facebook, and our social media. We also have it on Telegram. You're able to see all our announcements, okay? If you're not on our mailing list yet, please join our mailing list. Drop us an email at contact@bluetreeeducation.com, and we will put you into our mailing list, okay? So tomorrow is the PSLE Science walkthrough. So join us, okay? Don't miss. Is it tomorrow?
Yeah,
Is
tomorrow night.
It's tomorrow? Yes.
Yeah.
So don't miss it, okay? But if you have lesson, don't worry. We have also the video to share with you. It will go live on Facebook as well. Okay? Thank you very much. Thank you, Teacher Lynn. Thank you for the great evening.
Thank
We
you
had
for joining us.
a great audience, close to 100 people tonight.
Yeah.
Thank you very much. Looking forward to see you at BlueTree. Goodbye.